You type a prompt, hit enter, and 10 seconds later you have a logo. It looks great, the colors are good, there's even a signet. You put it on a website, business cards, and done. But there's a problem, because your clients will see 5 things in that image that you and AI completely missed. And this isn't about AI is bad. It's about not knowing what to look for. In this video, I will show you exactly 5 of those details and how to fix them, so you will know what to do. The first detail is typography. Basically, AI just can't do letters properly. Logos made with AI are almost always for small and medium businesses. The fact that Nike or Spotify can work with just a symbol isn't because the logo is magically well designed. It's because they spend years and millions of dollars anchoring themselves into people's head. A small business doesn't have that, so the name has to be part of the logo. And that's where the problem starts. If you set a text in a normal design app using one font, it just works. The computer knows it's a font and render it as a consistent system of characters. AI doesn't do that. AI generates a letter as a shape, an image, not a typographic character. The result is words that have letters with slightly different font weights but spacing between characters, or one O that's rounded just a little differently than the other O in the same word. Those are subtle things, but a logo is something a company uses everywhere. And if the logo isn't good, that quietly tells people the brand is sloppy before the client even has a chance to think about it why. The second point is overdone mathematical symmetry. And there is a nice analogy to nature here. Nothing in the real world is perfectly symmetrical. Our faces, bodies, leaves on trees aren't symmetrical. The same goes for a good logo design. The best example that you already know and probably never thought twice about it is G in the Google logo. When we look closely, we will notice G is not perfectly symmetrical. That's because the designers knew that the human eye reads slightly asymmetry as more nature and pleasant than mathematical perfection. It's called optical correction, and AI doesn't follow that. Because AI isn't designing for the human eye, it's designing for mathematical pattern. And a mathematical pattern always prefer symmetry. The third point is about generic design and a total lack of concept. You can see this most clearly when you generate a few logos for completely different industries. For example, coffee shop, law firm, and tech startup. They all share the same baseline soul. Similar shapes, ideas, similar fonts. AI also can't add any storytelling to a logo. The FedEx logo have a hidden arrow between the letters E and X. AI isn't do that because AI isn't thinking in terms of what should this shape mean. It thinks in terms of what look like a aesthetic image. And the result is that AI looks fine for the first look, but there's nothing behind that. You get a nice picture instead of logo with intent. And a client, even subconsciously, feels that difference because a good logo always have that, I get what it look like, and AI logo never has it. The fourth point is a complete lack of thought about the logo actually being used in different places. AI loves generating logos with gradients, shadows, or visually overcomplicated details. And while a gradient isn't the worst problem because it can usually be flattened to one color, shadows and complexity turns the logo into something that simply doesn't work in the real world. Because the fact that your logo looks great as an Instagram avatar doesn't mean it looks great printed on a business card, printed on a t-shirt, or put on a banner. And when we have a small coffee shop or dental office, sooner or later someone going to want business cards or a merch. And that's exactly where a AI logo fails. This is the point that hurts the most in practice, because you don't see it's coming until you actually try to do something more. And by then it's a bit too late because this forces you to rebrand everything. The fifth and final point is the problem with the vector format. In the previous points we talk about shadows and gradients, but there is an even worse scenario. The logo looks perfect and it even looks clean as a 16 pixels favicon. The problem starts when you try to scale it up or convert it to a vector format. AI generates images, not vector. So the logo you get is a photo, usually something around 1000 by 1000 pixels. It can sound enough, but for print that's not. If you try to scale it up for a banner or a poster, you get blurry and compression artifacts because you are not scaling mathematical curves, but you're scaling pixels. A real logo built in a vector program can be scaled up to a billboard size and stay as clean as a favicon. AI logos simply can't do that by the definition. So the only solution for fixing this is contact graphic designer and pay them to convert AI image to a vector project. As a bonus point, I can show you one of my really quick free time projects because I made this logo in just a few minutes. It's a logo for my friend's company, which works in the wood industry. The main idea I had was that they cut wood, so the logo should somehow reflect that by including a cut or slice in a design. I tried to communicate that idea to AI and ask it to generate not just one concept, but a couple different versions. Some of AI generated ideas weren't actually bad. However, as you can see, there are still some clear limitations. Those concepts wouldn't work well in every situation. They are often too complicated and they suffer from problems we mentioned earlier in this video. Now, to be clear, AI as a tool absolutely has a place in the process. It's great for generating concepts that you can show to the client to visualize idea. The problem starts when someone takes that output and say, this is my final logo, because the human brain, even with zero knowledge of typography or logo design, just picks up on those imperfections. And every month the internet has more AI generated content in it. So this kind of banner blindness towards logos is only going to grow. Your small business doesn't have Nike budget to win on recognition alone. So this logo is often the first and only moment you can get to build trust. If the first moment screams, we don't care about most important thing of our brand, the client will feel it. If you're making a logo, use AI for brainstorming, but hand the final version to someone who understands those 5 things I just walked through. Let me know in the comments which of those 5 points surprised you the most. Hit a like, subscribe, see previous videos, and see you in the next one.